Nobody talks about this. Everyone online is talking about cutting off toxic friends, leaving toxic workplaces. But your family? That's a whole different conversation. Because you can't just block your mom. You can't just unfollow your dad. Society tells you just love them. Just forgive them. Just keep showing up. But what happens when showing up is the very thing that's breaking you? That's what today is about. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to see your family situation completely differently. Let's go. Look, I know why you clicked on this. There's something real going on at home. Maybe it's a parent who criticizes everything you do. Maybe it's a sibling who's been competing with you your whole life. Maybe it's just this exhausting family energy that you can't even explain to people outside of it. I'm not here to tell you to cut them off. I'm not here to tell you to just forgive and forget either. What I'm here to do is give you the same tools that Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus used when the people around them were making their lives incredibly difficult. These weren't perfect men with perfect families. They had betrayal, jealousy, resentment, all of it. And they built a philosophy that actually worked. Let me show you how. Strategy 1, you can't control them. So stop trying. Let's be honest. How much energy have you spent trying to change someone in your family? Trying to make them understand you? Trying to get them to treat you better? Trying to have that one conversation that fixes everything? And how's that working out? Here's what Epictetus figured out, and this guy was literally a slave, so he knew what it meant to have zero control over his life. He said this: people are not disturbed by what happens to them. They're disturbed by what they think about what happens to them. Read that again. Your aunt's comment at dinner didn't ruin your evening. What ruined your evening is what you decided that comment meant about you. The moment you stop trying to control what they do and start focusing on how you respond, everything shifts. They don't lose power over you all at once. But slowly they stop having the same effect. And that's where your peace starts. Strategy 2, they won't be here forever. Neither will you. This one is uncomfortable. But stay with me. Think about someone in your family who drives you crazy. Now imagine getting a phone call tomorrow and they're gone. How much of what you've been arguing about still matters? I'm not saying that to be dark. I'm saying it because Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of death constantly, not to be depressing, but to get clear. He called it memento mori. Remember that you will die. Remember that everyone around you will die. And when you actually sit with that, the petty stuff starts to lose its grip. Not because the hurt wasn't real, but because you start asking yourself, is this really how I want to spend the time I have with this person? Is this argument really worth this much of my life? Sometimes the answer is yes. A boundary needs to be held. Fine. But a lot of the time we're spending weeks, months, years of our energy on conflicts that won't matter when it counts. Life is shorter than the argument feels. Strategy 3, what if this was supposed to happen? Nobody wants to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. What if the family you grew up in, the difficult one, the painful one, was exactly what you needed to become who you're becoming? The Stoics called this amor fati. Love your fate. Not just accept it, actually love it. Every hard thing that happened to you, every family member who made you feel small, every moment you had to fight for your own confidence, all of it was building something in you. Think about it. The people who grew up with everything easy, everyone supportive, no resistance, a lot of them never develop real strength. But you had to figure out how to protect your peace inside a house that didn't always give it to you. That's not a disadvantage. That's training. I'm not saying what happened to you was okay. I'm saying you don't have to let it be wasted on bitterness. The same experience that could make you resentful can make you unshakable. That choice is yours. Strategy 4, boundaries aren't walls. They're decisions. Here's something people get wrong about Stoicism. They think it means just take everything quietly and don't react. That is not what it means. Marcus Aurelius had people in his own palace plotting against him. He didn't pretend everything was fine. He didn't let everyone in. He was very deliberate about who got access to him and how much. That's what a real boundary looks like. It's not dramatic. It's not a big speech. It's just a quiet decision about how much space you allow someone in your life. So practically, what does that look like? Maybe you stop picking up every phone call. Maybe you keep visits shorter. Maybe there are topics you simply don't engage with anymore, you just smile and move on. Maybe you stop explaining yourself to people who have already shown they won't understand. None of that is cold. None of that is running away. That's just you being intentional about your own energy. And you don't need anyone's permission for that. The Stoics had a saying, between what happens and how you respond, there's a gap. Your freedom lives in that gap. Use it. Strategy 5. Zoom out. Seneca used to do something that sounds simple but is actually really powerful. Whenever a situation was getting to him, he would mentally zoom out, like a camera pulling back. He'd imagine watching the whole scene from above, and suddenly the argument that felt enormous looked tiny. The person who felt threatening looked small, and his own peace looked like the only thing worth protecting. You can do this too. Next time a family member says something that starts pulling you into that familiar emotional spiral, pause, just for a second, and ask yourself, will I remember this conversation in 5 years? Does what they just said actually change who I am or what I'm worth? Is reacting right now going to make anything better or just make me feel worse tomorrow? Most of the time the answer is no, and it'll make things worse. And once you see that the reaction just doesn't have the same power anymore, this isn't about not caring. It's about caring about the right things. Your peace is worth caring about. Their opinion of you in that moment, maybe not so much. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. A lot of the pain we feel around family isn't just what they're doing to us. It's the fact that we keep hoping they'll change. We keep waiting for the apology, waiting to finally be understood, waiting for them to see us. And that waiting is exhausting, because some people are never going to give you what you need from them. Not because you don't deserve it, but because they don't have it to give. Stoicism says this: stop outsourcing your peace. Stop putting it in someone else's hands, especially someone who has already shown you they don't know how to hold it carefully. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his journals for anyone else to read. He wrote them for himself, every night, asking himself, who do I want to be tomorrow? Not what do I want them to do? Who do I want to be? That's the shift, from chasing their change to choosing your own. The Stoics never promised easy relationships. They never promised that the hard people in your life would become easy. What they promised is that you don't have to let those people decide how you feel, how you show up, or who you become. You didn't choose your family, but you can choose your philosophy. And today you chose Stoicism. If this hit home for you, share it with someone who needs it. And before you leave, I made a video about dealing with toxic thoughts, because toxic people and toxic thoughts almost always come together. Watch that one next, it's right here. If you're new here, subscribe. Every week I'm bringing you real Stoic wisdom for the real world. I'll see you in the next one.